All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast, episode 29. I am your host, Frantic, and with me, as always, is my lovely co-host,
Grunt. I
and we are here to talk about video games and
and
junk.
junk.
All right, so that being said, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Totally thought this past week was supposed to be E3 on the previous podcast. Not gonna lie, I made that mistake. So what we'll do is probably talk more about that again this week, but in a different way. But we'll get to that. Let's start with our normal stuff. Grunt, how was your week?
Pretty good. I spent most of it playing Fallout 4. I'm still trying to finish that game.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It gets so distracted in the game easily.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. It's been pretty quiet. It's been hot here most of the week, so I haven't been able to do much other than stay inside, and not get fire roasted.
Right. It's like 90 degrees right now outside. I just had to go grocery shopping, and I was sweating just like walking up to my apartment. So it's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Funny thing about Fallout, one of my coworkers has a. He plays it like pretty often. He's level 80 something in the game, so he's played it a lot. Uh, And he was like, "Yeah, I went on one of my random killing sprees last night." And I was like, "What does that mean?" And he goes, "Well, I just every now and then I decide, people have had enough time living in this area, and I just go kill and loot everything." Like, oh, that's fun.
Yep. I know a
He,
few other people that have done that before.
he's at a point where he's got enough power armor to put everybody in his sanctuary area in power armor.
Oh my god.
So
I
yeah,
want that.
dedicate more time, bro. What are you doing? Playing Destiny or whatever you're doing. Sorry, I was drinking some water. It's very hot out, so I'm sweating a lot. I need water. So other than that, you didn't really have too much else going on. Watching the Destiny stream, I know you did that,
I,
which we will
I
talk about.
I did watch that. Yes, that was pretty great.
And that was exciting from what I could see.
It was, yeah. Most of this stuff got leaked like the day or two beforehand, so it's basically just confirming the leaks. But
Just confirming, yeah, we were right.
yeah, you're
That happens.
right. That information on the Singapore Xbox website was correct.
Right.
But yeah, that's been pretty much it. Boring, uneventful week.
Right, I get you. I don't think I really did anything else this week either beyond like uh well, I guess that's not true, but basically my week was just hanging out with people, and then I've been catching up on Jessica Jones on Netflix, and then last night the new Magic set called Eternal Masters came out, and I went and drafted that. And that was interesting. I did not win a game. It was single elimination, so I lost my first game, but it was fun to just kind of see the cards. But other than that, it was whatever. Packs were expensive, so I was like, yeah, I'll just wait for the packs to drop in price. Because the store was selling for 15 a pop, and they're supposed to be $10 each. But if they sold them for $10 each, they'd sell out immediately. So that's why they did that, and I totally get that. So
Right.
yeah, other than that, I didn't really do too much else. Yeah, so fun weeks.
Oh yeah, fun weeks.
Well, I think before we talk about Destiny or our main topic of the day, which we always kind of keep secret, we'll talk about some interesting news stuff, quote unquote secret. Because if you aren't watching this live, which is on twitch.tv/FranticJ3 the third every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you're not watching this live, it's like a little add-on to a commercial at the end. May cause head trauma. Notify your doctor if you suffer from this.
Oh my god.
If you read the title of the episode, you will know exactly what we'll be talking about. For those of you that are dedicated to the cause and watch this live, you will not know what we're going to talk about till then. But we'll see it on screen. Let's talk about the new PlayStation 4 called the PlayStation Neo.
Mystery and intrigue.
Ooh, yeah. This is an opinion piece I have up on screen, but they are offering this new system called a Neo. What exactly is different about it? Is it more hard drive space? Because I haven't gotten a chance to look too much into this beyond of initial skim because I was running behind today.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it a whole lot either, but they're upgrading a lot of the hardware in it to be better, basically. The CPU is getting an increase. I don't remember, even though I just looked at it like 10 minutes ago, or maybe a half hour ago, I should say. That's more accurate of an estimate. I don't remember exactly what it was that they have currently, and they're going to be swapping it out with. The graphics processor is getting an upgrade too. It's going to be better. From the article I read, they're gearing it more for your hardcore gamers. because it's going to support. I don't know how a 4K TV would justify gearing it towards hardcore gamers, but I'm not going to
Right.
argue that. It's also from the sounds of it, sounds like it's going to also be more of the system you want to buy if you're going to use their was it PlayStation VR or whatever it is.
That sounds about right.
So yeah, that's basically they're just upgrading a lot of the hardware in it. I'm not sure about the hard drive though. I didn't specifically see anything on that in the article I read. So
Well, I browsed through it and didn't see that necessarily. I would be surprised
I
if
would,
they didn't offer a bigger hard drive, but
I would hope so.
yeah, especially for how, like we've talked about it before on this podcast, how just installing games onto your hard drive takes up space like that because
Right.
500 gigs is surprisingly not that much,
Right.
especially when we get these Blu-ray discs that can hold, I don't know how much, but I'm gonna guess 70, 80 gigs.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Google it real quick, but I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, that should be coming, but it's not coming like crazy soon. Like they announced it, they confirmed its existence, but they aren't gonna sit here and show us it at E3, from what I read.
Yeah.
Other than that, it should be coming, even if it's in 2017 in that area. But what this does is put pressure on Microsoft because they're supposed to be working on an upgraded Xbox One 2 as well. But
Two.
the Xbox 2. I hope it's the Xbox One 2, so it's like, oh, it's the Xbox 12. Could have just called it the Xbox 2. But that's cool because I know a lot of people were upset about it being an entertainment system instead of a hardcore gaming system, or at least I know that was the Xbox One's issue initially.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were just like, yeah, it's cool and all that we can use it as our entertainment system, but what if we just literally want a game on it, which is all I use mine for. And that's the sad thing is I barely play it, but you know.
Oh yeah.
I think that's cool though.
Yeah.
That'll be. I mean, they always do this. They'll introduce an initial console and then later on add a new one. Like the Xbox 360 started off like regular, and they introduced the Slim or whatever it was called, the black one, that didn't have a detachable hard drive, which kind of upset me. But you had one of those?
Not one of the slim models or whatever.
Oh.
One of the original black ones. They
Oh.
had the white, and then they came out with the black ones, and then they came out with the slim models, which were newer looking versions of it.
Okay, yeah, because those are the ones that had the 500 gig hard drives or whatever in them, or maybe 250. I don't remember.
The one I've got was 250, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's only got like 5 gig left on it after I quit using it.
Yeah, I have the Xbox 360 arcade version, the like $200 version, back when it was the system. It wasn't in a last gen console. That had like 250 megabytes of internal memory.
Oh.
I had to get my own hard drive for it, and I had like a 10 gig hard drive, and I could barely play anything on it. That was my life, you know.
I mean, hey, at least you had one.
Right. So in other words, it's getting really annoying that they aren't increasing hard drive space. That's why I hope they do. So.
All right. It's also, I imagine, I don't know, I haven't seen anything about it, but I also imagine it's going to be more expensive than the current price point for the PlayStation 4, which is what, like $300-$400, something like that. I don't remember.
I don't think it's 4. I think it's 250 to 3 in that area.
So about $300. So I'm thinking it's going to be probably quite a bit more than that.
I would believe that.
So, especially
if it's an upgrade,
yeah,
it's got to be better.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, cool. If you're excited for that, awesome. If not, oh well. I hope whoever ends up getting theirs enjoys it. But there's some other news to talk about here. Let's go to Doom, and it's Doom multiplayer specifically. And I'm scrolled down in this article. My bad. We got ID. Huh? Shame on me.
Shame on you.
Bad. We have ID, which is interactive. It's an ID software. It stands for something. I don't remember what the ID is.
I have no idea what it stands for.
I don't know, but it's lowercase apparently. They're taking care, not taking care. They're taking control of Doom's multiplayer, in like the future development and stuff. I haven't heard too much about Doom's multiplayer beyond the original. Like this was kind of bad.
Yeah, well, I guess from the article I read of it earlier, back in the beta they had custom game modes and private lobbies that you could play in, but you had to launch the beta in a weird way to actually get them. And those weren't present. Those options were not present in the full game. So it's like two things people wanted that were left out. Plus, overall, the general state of Doom's multiplayer doesn't sound to be too good.
Yeah, it sounds like it's just in a bad state.
Right, and I think ID Software they want to get Doom back to what it was known for, really.
Right, because
At
it
least-
wouldn't be a complete game. It wouldn't be a Doom game in many people's eyes
Right.
if it didn't have that. So,
Yeah.
well, that's cool. At the same time, kind of sad. Certain Affinity is the developer that was helping build multiplayer components. They just kicked them off of it and took it back. So either they did a bad job, or it was just like this is just not doing it quick enough. Whatever, it doesn't really say. But hopefully, this means I guess I'd say a turning point.
Hopefully so. Hopefully, everyone that is upset about Doom's multiplayer can start seeing some improvement for it.
Yeah.
Like you said, it sucks for Certain Affinity, but who knows? Maybe Certain Affinity is moving to another project. So
Yeah, maybe they just didn't have time and they're working on their own cool IP. And we might see that. Who knows? As of right now, they're not working on Doom, though.
nope.
So, do with that information what you will. Anyways, and I forgot to have Bungie open, so excuse me real quick. We're going to go to Bungie really fast. Because we're going to talk about the rise of Iron. No longer a spoiler or a leak, which is what it was originally.
It's
I'm
confirmed.
gonna skip this. Okay. Cool. Reveal trailer. So, I'm going to let you do some talking here. I didn't get a chance to watch the stream. I only got notifications via live tweeting.
After my internet decided to not buffer the stream every 2 seconds. Yeah, that.
Grunt
Anyways,
doesn't have the best internet, everybody. It's unfortunate.
no, and because I was smart and decided to download 4 games in the past month, 5 technically if you want to include the god-awfully long update time for GTA 5 when I reinstalled it on my new console, that kind of ate through a good chunk of my data usage for the month, so it's
Your
been...
internet has you on data usage?
Yes,
That's
they
not
do.
That's not even right, man.
I mean...
Don't ever live in Illinois, guys. Jeez.
Or at least not in my area, where you only have 2 options for an internet service provider, and the one is worse than the other.
That just sounds awful, man. Like I know I've heard about data limits on your phone, but not on your home internet of all the places.
Sounds kind of like a presidential election. Not going there.
Sounds like a presidential. Haha.
See,
So-
I can make jokes.
Sounds like our fight for the freedom of the internet isn't working in Illinois, or at least where you live.
No, it isn't.
Anyways,
but
tangents aside.
Yeah. So, The Rise of Iron. New expansion coming to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in September 20th, I believe it is.
I could scroll down and find out, but I'm gonna guess you're right.
I'm like 99.9 repeating % sure that it's the September 20th. For $30. The reason I mentioned PlayStation 4 and Xbox One only, they decided to cut support for last gen with the new DLC. Well, I mean, alright. They're going to support the game, but you will not be able to get Rise of Iron for the PS3 or 360. So your content pretty much ends right there with Taken King. Maybe you'll probably get live events from now on in that, but for the game, but no Rise of Iron for last gen players. Sorry.
It sucks, but
Oh yeah, it's going to have a new cinematic campaign, new story missions, and new quests to do. There will be 3 new destinations, and yesterday I had these memorized in my mind, but I can't remember them right now.
I was scrolling through, just saw the Cosmodrome. There was a raid there. That was about it.
Yep, but it's going to have 3 new destinations. I don't know if one of the 3 new destinations is including the new social zone. So when I say social zone, think of like the reef or the tower currently in the game. At least 2 of them you will be able to explore, and there'll be brand new areas to go to. It's
Cool.
going to have 1 new strike. I'm assuming we'll probably, if you're on the Xbox side, you'll probably get 2 new strikes, the new one, and then the one the PlayStation 4 has as an exclusive now. They're also updating some older strikes. They did not say which ones, though. So, pretty interested to see what those are.
Yeah, that'll be cool to find out.
It's going to have a new raid. So if you love raiding, you have a new raid to look forward to.
Indeed. Looks like there's a bunch of new equipment, too, including an iron Gallahorn for pre-ordering. Don't know if you saw that or not.
There is, yes. Basically, if you pre-order the Gallahorn. Yeah, go pre-order your Gallahorn.
I mean, that's essentially what you're doing.
Yes, it is. If you pre-order the Rise of Iron, you will get access to the Iron Gallahorn. They are bringing the Gallahorn back for year 3, or year 2, whatever. We're not
2.5 is where we're at.
2.5, yeah.
By the time
it comes out, the game will have been out for
3
years. Yeah. Well,
they're just counting the new years. That's weird.
Yeah.
Anyways,
game will have been out for 2 years, but starting year 3, so whatever number stuff. It hurts my brain. But anyways, they're bringing the Gallahorn back with that. You won't have to earn it through RNG, so
that's pretty nice.
Yeah. They say from the stream I watched yesterday, or not yesterday, Thursday, you will be able to forge your own Gallahorn through a quest. So I'm thinking like the current exotic sword quests, where you have a sword already and you can upgrade it to become an exotic version of your old sword. So I'm thinking something like that. You just do a quest, do all kinds of probably crazy things.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
So
yeah,
that
makes more sense to me. But
you get a Gallahorn. Everyone gets a Gallahorn, which is pretty cool though.
I mean, I'm looking at some of like the stuff they have. Some of the new equipment looks really cool. It's like
there's
super colorful.
Yep, there's new weapons and armor coming, so that's pretty cool. Crucible-wise, there's going to be a new mode. They only hinted at one. I don't know if maybe they'll drop more information on that for us later. There will be new maps. They didn't say how many. And there will be new features, they say. A lot of people are speculating still custom lobbies. Who knows?
I mean, I would hope so. It'd be about time they introduced that.
It would be. And that might just be because if you figure, it might be another year after this releases before you get the next full-on Destiny game. So that might be just enough to keep people going for that extra year, if they don't have any extra more content drops.
Right. Or however long that will be. I can't imagine it'd be a year, but I feel like this will come out and then spring we'll get something.
Yeah, I would hope it wouldn't be a year. I'm trying to think. They said that the story you'll be fighting a new enemy and faction. Basically, it's a new version of the Fallen. Think of like your captains, your vandals, all those ugly things.
Dragon's tanks.
Yeah. But they will have. They're like, God, I don't know how to explain it really, but they're like.
Well, they're on screen, so you're doing a very good job of describing them.
Damn. They are kind of like this weird. I think when I told you I was a failed experimentation of crossing like robots with the Fallen.
Yeah, the description says every Fallen house has splicers, body hackers, and bioengineers who fuse metal and flesh, but the splicers of the House of Devils have uncovered the ultimate technology, SIVA.
SIVA. That's how you spell that now.
SIVA. It's a golden age breakthrough in self-assembling, self-replication nanotechnology. Yeah, they've always worshipped machine gods, now they're armed with that. And the Devil Splicers are becoming machine gods themselves. Hey, what do you know?
Interesting.
God among men. Gods among men, rather. Also, while he was talking, sorry for that noise, I had to plug my phone in because it was dying and it decided to make a bunch of noise. That was cool.
Shame on you again.
Shame on me. Man, every podcast I screw something up.
You're fired. Wait.
Fired from a job.
I can't fire you because you own the site. No!
You could. It's like firing the president.
Alright, well.
Yeah. So this looks really cool. A lot of awesome stuff. There's a new battle axe too, right? That is going to be more like a... What was it called?
Yeah. They called it... During the stream, they referred to it as a relic because that was... Everyone saw these leaked images of Lord Saladin, actually. Mr. Iron Banner.
Yeah, Lord Saladbar.
Lord Salad Bar. All right, there we go. You will actually get to find out a little bit more about the lore behind the Iron Lords and all that stuff. Um, Lord Salad Bar included, others. Um,
But the relic, I was gonna say, is like the House of Wolves rocket launcher. I forget the name of it off the top of
the
my head.
Scorch Cannon, yes.
Yeah, it's like Scorch Cannon. It's not like just a sword you get. It's not like a sword. It's a findable thing, or at least that was our guess, or is that confirmed?
Well, they referred to it as a relic. They said that you'll be able to find it in a mission and other areas. I think the other areas, but at least during one mission during the story line for the expansion, you'll be able to use it. But they didn't say. They said no, that you won't actually be able to get to use it. It's not an actual new weapon to carry around, and
Gotcha.
so it's just like a kind of. So far, it's just kind of like a one-time use thing.
It sounds like a story element more than it is a
Yeah.
reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's still pretty cool.
Yeah. Also, no wolf companions if you're wanting to. Sorry.
Aww, that's upsetting. Maybe we can get like a Galahorn ghost shell. The next best thing.
I would definitely take that.
I think many would. So cool. That seems like. Oh my god! I just realized I want a ghost shell that's like flaming like his battle axe. Like a ghost shell on fire. Like we already have like the Kingslayer shell and the Taken shell where it looks like all screwed up. So that would be really cool.
Oh yeah. I just want that axe. Period. That's
Yeah,
it. End of
it
story.
looks really freaking sweet.
I just want it.
So that's about it on that, right? There's nothing else really. We pretty much covered it
That's-
beyond.
That's pretty much pretty much all of it. They just delivered a brief synopsis, basically confirming all of the leaks that were there. They went a little bit in depth about some of the stuff, but I mean, I don't think it's worth noting necessarily here.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm excited for that, and I hope everybody else listening is, because that looks really cool. And there's just a bunch of stuff there to, I don't know, just give us enough stuff to at least go on for a minimum, I'd say, of 6 months for most people. So
Oh yeah, I mean, the
that should
raid
get people
probably
excited for
itself
Destiny
is-
3. But yeah, the raid too. Like, we got the House of Elders, or not the House of, why did I say that? The Challenge of Elders.
Challenge of Elders, yeah.
Is what I meant. The Challenge of Elders is what we have now, but it's not a raid per se, because it can be done with more ease than a raid typically would.
A lot more ease.
Yeah, but that's not to say that we need another Taken King raid, because that's just so damn long and annoying.
No.
Takes like 45 minutes if you're really good at it.
Yeah. Speaking of Taken King, reminded me of light level increases. With
Oh, yeah.
the Rise of Iron, there will be a light level increase.
And it's lovely where they're increasing to.
Yeah. They just said a significant increase. Nothing. They're still dialing it in and running numbers and all that. So there's nothing solid about that yet. But it will be. Sounds like it's going to be pretty big. More than 15 levels than what we had from after Taken King to the April update. So
It'll probably go to like, what, 400?
420.
420 is what I was told on Twitter, even though it's probably not true.
No, that was just a joke.
I thought it was. I just
Well,
thought it'd be
I hope
really.
so.
I mean, it'd be really funny either way.
It would be. It would be.
So, with all this speculation that we have here, and talking about the leaks, that brings us to what I was actually hoping we could talk about with E3 in the last about 20 minutes here. So, I'm just going to use this big-ass picture here of Polygon's big at E3 hub thing, I don't know. This talks about like games that we're expecting to see, but I'm not really wanting to delve too much in that, because we kind of did that last week, where it was like, everybody gets their panel, there's a few games that we know are probably going to be shown. And there are some cool ones that I'm really looking forward to. Like, I know the Telltale Batman game is supposed to be a little more previewed, if I'm not mistaken, along with Walking Dead Season 3. There's Watch Dogs 2. There's all kinds of stuff, which the Watch Dogs 2 trailer came out. But the topic I want to talk about is getting hyped around these things, and also speculation, which we've talked about before, but also leaks. And this is all kind of three things that can be wrapped into one whole discussion here, because they all kind of have something to do with each other.
right.
So I can start with an example from the Magic world, because leaks happen a lot more often. than you would think because, well, if you were familiar with it, you wouldn't be surprised. Uh, every, let's see, every 2 to 3 months we get a new set. And a new set is like 150 to 250 new cards, essentially. I mean, I put new in quotes because sometimes they'll reprint cards.
Mhm.
But we'll get new cards, and they do what's called spoiler week, or spoiler weeks, where 2 weeks before the release date, or however long it is, it might be 3 weeks before it, I don't remember the exact date, they'll start revealing some cards, and then by the end of the week, you'll have seen all the new cards that are coming, so you can prepare for the first events and stuff. And so, typically, how they schedule these things internally. So they're like, we want to show this card in a review, or we want to show this card via some article where we're writing about XYZ. And they've recently gotten YouTube accounts from the community involved, where one of my favorite ones is it's called the Tellurian Community College, which is a joke off of a card name, but he treats it as he's a professor to a bunch of students, and he teaches you magic stuff, and they give him cards to spoil and preview to us. Even though he's not like a member of the company, and they do that to a bunch of different ones. So it's really cool because the YouTube people can take their own spin on it, and then other like places where there are like dedicated communities to write articles, get cards to preview and whatnot. So I'm not sure where the leaks happen, but it's typically someone on the inside will leak out the information in some manner, whether it's intentionally, unintentionally, or accidentally. I mean, I guess unintentionally falls in that category of unintentionally. Accidentally and unintentionally, same thing is what I'm saying. Because I can't words right now. But there have been times where cards will slip into packs that are already being released. So you might get a card before it's actually released in a pack, and someone will put it online or something like that. I've seen that happen before. And there was this past Christmas was a really big one. They were printing really expensive cards as like basically you got a one in stupid amounts of. It was really hard to get it. Is the best way to put this. Basically, you had to open 4 or 5 booster boxes, which was 36 packs in a box. So, you had to open a lot of cards to potentially just get one of these guys. So they were just kind of like really cool treasures, essentially. And they spoiled one, and it was like, oh man, I wonder what all these are going to be. And then someone just leaked every single one of them. And then it turned out they were going to show us those on Christmas Eve, or in other words, our Christmas present was to find out all these cards, but instead we found out 2 weeks early. So someone said, man, someone literally just ruined my Christmas for me. So
Fair.
I bring that up.
Fair point.
I bring that up because it's very important to look at it kind of like that, where you want to know things so badly when it's very unknown and you get this intrigue and this curiosity. But then does knowing it any earlier than when they plan make a difference? To many, I'd say no. And that's an interesting thing to think about, because us knowing what these cards were going to be in this example made no difference beyond the fact of, oh, here was our Christmas present. I already knew what it was. When I was a little kid, I found my Christmas present stash one time, and I knew what it all was. And then when I got it all, it was this big letdown because I was like, oh, I already knew I was getting all this. I was expecting more things beyond that for some reason, and I didn't get that. So, yeah.
Haven't we all been there?
I feel like everyone pretty much has. But I think it's more to the point. If you look at the games like their presents, and then they get leaked in some manner, like this Rise of Iron, it got leaked what it was, and then I guess more details. I didn't actually hear about the more details being leaked a couple days beforehand, but did it make any difference?
Well, I mean, not a whole lot of difference because it built the hype up towards the stream, but the actual reveal stream by Bungie, but once you were all said and done, it was just like, oh yeah, we already knew that. They're not telling us much news. So it was basically a very good example of your spoiling the magic cards on like 2 weeks before Christmas. So
yeah, it's just like
it doesn't make a difference when it gets announced or whenever, because then it's like, oh yay, cool. But then when you have something that's like being teased at, and there's all that hype build up to it up until the official announcement of it, it's like everything gets leaked a few days, few weeks, whatever beforehand, and then you actually get to the actual announcement. It's like, well, they told me stuff that I already knew 2 weeks ago. That's yay.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's attitude would change to be like, oh, so it's true? Oh, okay, cool. Instead of, oh my god, all these cool things? Because you
Hmm.
already had that happen when it got leaked. It was like, oh man, is that real? And then it's a different attitude. It's not, man, they're offering all this cool stuff. It's, man, are they going to offer all this cool stuff? And
Yeah.
I feel like it's a slight different frame of mind to be in, to where it makes a difference by the end of it, where you're just like, oh yeah. And I mean, does it make a true difference of by the time you play the game and get to play all the things that they're giving to you? I really don't think so. I don't think it makes much of a difference beyond if they're revealing all this, they leak all this stuff that it's. So say they aren't going to actually show us what this game, like let's take a game for example. I'm not going to say a specific game, but this game they're keeping secretive, and they're just like, oh, we're releasing this, we're not going to show you anything or give you any information. So like, I don't know, like a Call of Duty game, if they didn't spoil every weapon and every perk or everything, that was just like, oh, it's a new Call of Duty game. If someone leaked all the information of the game, like, oh, here's the gun stats and here's the perks, that would make a difference. But in this case, where Bungie has been, for Bungie, for instance, they give you pretty much all the details so you know what you're buying. I don't think it truly makes a difference
Yeah.
if they leak it. But the plan for them to release it and the way they want to build the hype, the marketing, and everything around it is definitely affected. And a lot of money goes into how they plan that. And that's the biggest argument in Magic,
Oh,
at
yeah.
least, where
Oh
it's
yeah.
like they put time, money, and effort into planning when you get to see things because they want you to see it at a certain point in time. Like Magic definitely is one of those where they have this story that is ever growing, and that's how they create some of the cards and show you some of the turning points in the storyline via art in the cards. And they'll talk to you about the story and show you the card, and they want to release that story and that part of the card, to show you it
Right.
um, at a certain point in time. And
Yeah.
and it doesn't make a difference in Magic, I don't think, leaks or not, but it makes a difference when Wizards of the Coast is who makes Magic, by the way. It makes a difference to them because they put so much money into keeping the stuff hush hush, and people will lose their jobs over leaks there
Oh
because
yeah.
it's like, like I said, time, money, and resources.
Oh yeah. You have
So
you have marketing departments for all these corporations that try and try to sell you this stuff and build the hype behind it so you get interest in it, and then you have all of these leaks that come out, and then it just kind of gradually ruins the hype for it.
yeah. So with that being said, we can talk about a little different thing here, which is the hype around things, because if the leaks don't happen, then we gotta rely on the companies to hype us up in the way they want to do it. So with E3 coming this following week, I think, does something happen tomorrow? Tomorrow being
Um,
Sunday for those of you who are
I
listening, not on Saturday.
I believe it is EA and Bethesda's press briefings tomorrow.
Yeah. So this literally will start tomorrow when you probably will be hearing this podcast if you aren't listening live, because I'll upload it then. But so it's gonna start, and we're gonna start hearing all this really cool stuff. And I heard a criticism of E3. It might have been last year, it might have been a few years. I don't remember when it was, but it was basically they feel like it shouldn't have press coverage or anything like that. Like the person had this opinion of this is an expo for the biggest people in the industry and the people in the industry to come together and see what others are creating, not to market the crap out of things. It's to just be like, here's what we're going to be bringing you. And it's like, cool. That seems technologically advanced compared to where we're at. And it's supposed to show off these things not in a manner of selling it, but in a manner of here's what we're doing. And this was somebody's opinion. And it was someone notable. I can't remember who it was because it was a while ago when I heard this. But I get his point. But at the same time, it's a great way to market it because it's like, here's an announcement of something awesome coming.
Right.
So, and many companies have started treating it like it's a more of a marketing place to announce their big projects coming.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Like you said, I see his point, but I mean, it's a perfect opportunity to market your product, market what you're trying to do. So I
because
don't.
it's covered so vastly now. Like you get all the big outlets like IGN, Polygon, Kotaku, and GameSpot, and all them, and then you get smaller ones like YouTube channels who maybe not want to focus on humongous titles and want to focus on smaller stuff that maybe the other places might not cover nearly as much. Because
Right.
it's not just the big booths, like the big press conferences of EA and Nintendo and everything. Yeah, sure they'll be there, but there are also other smaller booths where they're demoing their games, or, you know, there's like smaller booths of I don't know. It clearly costs less to have their little areas, and they can just kind of preview their games, and they don't really get the big press coverage like everybody
Right.
else gets.
Right.
So,
Last year, I wrote an article. I can't remember exactly, but it was about last year. There were the board behind E3 was allowing developers and publishers to invite known members of their community, like YouTubers and
mhm.
streamers and stuff like that, to E3, and people were all bent out of shape saying it was a trade show, blah blah blah. I wrote something about that, but I found out that Crayola was there at E3, so last year.
Who?
Crayola, crayons.
Oh, like the crayon. Okay, I didn't know if that was like a guy's like name on
No,
YouTube or something.
no. I mean, it probably is, but I'm talking like the crayons and markers and
Why were they there?
I don't know. It still puzzles me to this day.
It's like, you guys made professional poster boards. How about you draw them? We'll sell it to you. Like, I don't know, what would they be doing there? It's really weird.
But
Either way,
it
but
just goes to further your point of, off the wall people can set up there if they really want to.
yeah, that's really
Like
weird.
Crayola.
Need some markers for your Halo game? I don't know. Draw a smiley face on Master Chief. Okay. Um, I'm I'm pretty sure this is something we will cover next Saturday once we see everything and get a good grip of what all happened and all the stories, the big names, the little names.
Oh yeah.
But basically, another thing I've heard someone else say about E3, and something I agree with to an extent, is that it's just one big hype show and there's a lot of broken promises. Um, it's You're not wrong. It
No.
is a hype show, but at the same time, it's like, look what we're bringing to the table, and then it's all a matter of delivery. And you could sell the crap out of something as the greatest thing ever, but when it fails to live up to the hype you set and the standard you set, what does that say about you as either a company, a developer, or even just a marketer? I guess is another way to put it. Like Watch Dogs, that had so much hype, and then everyone was just like, "Yeah, I mean, that was a game."
Yeah.
There were people who liked it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to bad talk them, but it was a game that was like really hyped. Like, oh, this is gonna be great, and then it just ended up being GTA with hacking, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
much
having not played
what
it,
I've heard
but
of it
yeah.
about it too. So
And they're announcing the second one to it, which, from what I've seen, maybe will be better. I mean, I guess it's not too terribly hard to be better than what they were if they were already a flop. But from what I understand, it's looking promising compared to the first one. So it all depends on how it's sold, how it's presented to us. Like, we're gonna probably see the new Call of Duty. We'll see the new Battlefield stuff. We'll see. Bungie's not doing anything there because they revealed all their stuff on a stream instead of going there. I mean, they might be there, but
well, they will be at E3. I don't know whether they're going to be unveiling anything new or what, but yeah, they will be at E3.
because they revealed everything this week, so
Yeah,
which was a little odd, but
they'll probably, if they have anything to reveal, it'll probably be underneath the PlayStation event, because that's how they've done it before.
right.
So,
And like I said earlier, Telltale, we'll probably see some of their new stuff for their new games. But I promoted them last week, I'm pretty sure, but this week I'll say it again. There's a YouTube channel I really like following for E3, and that is Outside Xbox. They're British, so if you don't like British accents, don't watch them. But they cover stuff pretty well. They get invited to it and get to do interviews with people, so they do a lot of good stuff there. So I would go follow that if you're wanting to really keep up. But beyond that, I don't know if we'll probably tweet about some stuff we get to see, I imagine. So
I definitely will be.
I think that can segue us into our lovely advertising here.
Ooh.
Unless you have anything else you want to add about E3, I think the bulk of our discussion will come next week. But I think it's good to just keep in mind that this isn't we're selling you this game now. It's we want to sell you this game, and stuff still has to fall in line. But these games, hopefully you'll be at least excited when you see it, is how I view it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I mean, I kind of have to agree with that. It's a good assessment of it.
Yeah.
They call E3 a trade show, and when you look at a trade show, it's like what they have said, what people have said. It's to show what they're bringing. It's not to sell you that. But if you even looking at other industries, their trade shows have changed their definition. Look at the Consumer Electronics Expo. they try and they have all these vendors there, and they show off what new tech they have, and they try to sell it to people that are there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I think in general the definition of a trade show has changed.
I agree with that entirely. And maybe that's where that person in my first quote was coming from, where it was like, this was supposed to be a trade show where you just
Show off your stuff.
show off your stuff, not in a way that you're trying to sell it, but now it's a big press event where you're just like, instead of having a press release, you just go to E3.
Right. And the thing is, with letting press there, how are you going to get exposure for your stuff? You know?
That's a good point.
So, I kind of don't agree with that at all because of that reason. You know,
I mean,
there's
it's where it's
there's a lot of indie developers that show their stuff at E3 anymore, which surprises me considering, indie developers really weren't a huge thing several years ago, but they've popped up a lot recently in popularity, which is great.
Which is another really good discussion, by the way, of how indie games are can make just as much as a AAA title with nowhere near the investment and nowhere near the graphical fidelity. Which we might talk about that at some point because that's a great topic to discuss. But
Right.
So I have very good opinions on that, but we'll talk about
it. I'm sure we both do actually. But
I agree.
Yeah, so you have all these new indie games that are coming out that show up at E3, and if they don't get their coverage from the press and games media and all that stuff, how are they getting their name out there? Then we're just going back to where it was, where it's like, oh, that's an indie game? Nah, I'm gonna go play this new AAA title instead because I never heard of indie game number one.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Those are my closing thoughts on the topic.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that really fast, and then we'll head out of here. But I think maybe it started that way. Maybe it started as like not a marketing thing, but what it's evolved into, it's hard to change it from that. Not saying you can't.
Right.
So unless a lot of people would agree with you, agree with this person, who I can't remember the name of.
That guy who said that thing.
The guy who said that thing.
There you go.
So, I mean, I think you get what I was going for on that, where it's just essentially, this is what it's evolved into, and everyone seems to be quite okay with it beyond the whole broken promises, which we can never really evaluate till maybe a year later, looking at No Man's Sky.
Master Chief Collection.
Master Chief. Yeah, see, I mean, we can go on for days with that, but... All right, so... I'm going to get the quote-unquote advertising out of the way, because I should probably come up with a better name for it. That way you guys don't think I'm trying to sell you something. When in reality, what I'm trying to sell you is, hey, follow us and we'll talk more about games and junk.
It's our trade show.
Yeah. This is going to evolve into a trade show. Oh, man, the Frantic Talks Expo. That would be cool. Let's not set the dream so high there, though. All right, so I'm Frantic J3. You can find that on Twitter. He's Onyx Spartan, ONYX, also on Twitter. All one word, by the way. You can find Frantic Talks, Frantic_Talks. That is on our official Twitter account, where we tweet about the articles we post, maybe even a couple other things like when the podcast is going live, and tweet podcasts as well there. There's magic.frantictalks.com, which the podcast I totally said I would upload on Thursday has yet to be uploaded for numerous reasons.
You didn't say that.
Can I just say why really quick, just in case anybody listens to this and that?
Sure, why not?
I thought I had the episodes edited, like the part 1 and part 2 edited. So I was like, I just need to finish the deck lists, which was 100 cards each, so I had to put in 200 cards into this format so people could see it. I got those taken care of, and then I woke up the next morning and was like, all right, I'm going to upload it, and then on my lunch break, I'm going to publish it. And then I went to upload, and I was like, why is there no file? Oh, God, I haven't even edited it yet. And since then, I've been busy, so I'll probably upload that either later today or like tomorrow. Or I might just wait till next Wednesday, because I try to get out on Wednesdays and just be like, yeah, we took a week ordered for... Oh, man.
Post-production errors.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have another podcast called Frantic Works, where I record myself driving to work and driving home talking about Magic. It's once a week. It's broken into 2 parts, the drive there and the drive back, where I talk about similar yet different topics in each part. And you can listen to all parts or 2 separate parts if you don't want to listen to part 1, if it's some topic you don't enjoy or something like that. And it has awesome music. I am proud of how I edited it. If you got to listen to the full version, it uses 2 different songs, and I love both of them. Anyways, beyond that, twitch.tv/FranticJ3 the third, THE the number 3 RD, because some bastard took Frantic J3.
There you go.
live every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, roughly 3 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes we go a little later. Either way, 3 p.m. Eastern is what you should aim for to see us live. Typically upload the podcast every Sunday or Monday. It just depends on how the schedule looks. That would be on iTunes or SoundCloud. SoundCloud will be on the Frantic Talks website when you click on a podcast. iTunes, just search Frantic Talks. We're the only one there. And that's also where the Frantic Works podcast gets uploaded, by the way. It's all in that one feed. So you'll see those as well. If you don't want to listen to them, you don't have to. I'm not going to force you. But I appreciate it, though. I like feedback. And then lastly, we have a YouTube channel where this video version of this podcast gets uploaded, and it doesn't have an official URL until we get 100 subscribers. So get on it. I haven't checked how many we have yet. I think it's double digits, which is a good thing.
We're climbing.
I think we are. Yeah. And I off air last week, I told Grunt that our Frantic Talks Twitter account started getting more followers, and it turns out it's just naked women. So it's like, well, that's not a real follower. It's just bots who post pictures of naked women. So it's like, I mean, cool, I guess. I don't know how to feel about that. If it gets us more followers and maybe more exposure, fine. I don't care. I'm not going to tweet at them. But that's the thing.
Yeah.
So be real and follow us. That's going to be another trailer. Like, Frantic Talks, be real. Follow us. It's going to stem from that. That's the name of this episode. No, I'm going to name this episode something different. But anyways, I think that about wraps it up. You got any more closing remarks before I just ramble like an idiot for the next 20 minutes?
No, I don't. I'm anxious to see what all happens at E3.
I am too.
So.
And I do want to note, I'm going to a convention next weekend in Columbus called Origins. So we might be going live from there at a different time than 3 p.m. Eastern, just so you know, heads up, because I'll be in the vendor hall like buying things at 3 p.m. Eastern. I still want to get us going, so I will actually have a guest with me at that point. So.
More mystery and intrigue.
More mystery and intrigue. Don't leak it.
Oh my god. You just gave me the perfect idea. That.
Are you going to leak who our guest is, you little shit?
I don't even know who the guest is. You haven't told me. And I'm your co-host.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. We tried to get that person on last week.
Ah.
See, now you know.
I won't leak that. I won't leak that.
Okay, good.
I'll just... I have a creative mind when I actually want to use it.
Me too.
Hey. No wonder why we do a podcast together.
Wow. All right, that's it. All right, I'm going to do some real advertising. I'm wearing an awesome shirt right now. It's for a band called Black Crown Initiate. If you like death metal, go listen to them. If you don't, go listen to them. I don't care. That's all I'll say. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. I'm Frantic.
I'm Grunt.
And like I said, we'll see you next time.